edition. Oh. And we are live. I want to thank everyone for tuning into a very special edition of Off the Record, the People's Podcast. This evening, we have a great guest, someone who I've admired ever since I was younger, and I'm just honored that you would take time out of your busy schedule, sir, to have a conversation with us. Brother Hezekiah Muhammad, first of all, assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam, beloved.
Yes, sir. Brother Hezekiah, when did you first hear the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad?
Well, it's two things that happened in the summer of '89. Look, before '89, let's go back to '85. In 1985, a bomb was dropped in New York City.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And for some reason, man, it was just, because we in my community, I grew up in East New York, Brooklyn.
Yes, sir.
So there was a lot of Muslim 5%, movement in the community.
Yes, sir.
But a man was coming to Madison Square Garden to speak about power at last, forever.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Just the title alone, because coming from a community of people that was struggling for self-identity and power in any form, to even hear a black man say, man, come hear me speak about power at last. And not only at last, but forever.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That forever part was very key for me. So, me and my crew, we was like, yo, we got to get to the garden. We was just like, we got to get there. But so we get to the garden, Josh, but we can't get in. We can't get in the garden. We can't get into the overflow. I mean, it was just, when I saw the amount of people, I was just like, excuse my language, but damn.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
This man ain't coming to rap. He ain't singing. He ain't dancing. It's like, I gotta hear this, man.
Yes, sir.
So, long story short, we ain't get in, but we wasn't disappointed. We were, we stayed on the outside until the whole thing was over. And I mean, at that time, I saw killers from my community coming out of the garden, man, with tears in their eyes. And that struck me.
Yes,
so
sir.
We're gonna fast forward now to 1989. Two things happened in the summer of '89. One, in the beginning of July, I was shot. I was shot in my back. I lost, one of my partners lost his life. And this funny thing about that is we was in a vehicle, and we had saw somebody that had did something to one of our partners. So I'm in the car. We in the car. I'm driving, and I'm walking on the back of a pair of wallabies. I don't know. The old school people.
We're familiar with Wu-Tang shoes. Okay, yes, sir.
Right. I'm walking on the back of them. I'm walking on the back of them because we in the car. So when we see them, I jump out the car, and I'm moving out. I hear a voice in my ear say, "Put your shoes on." So my partner Rob, who was out the car by this time, he walks up behind me. I said, "Yo, be quiet, man. Tell me." He like, "What do you mean, be quiet?" I said, "Tell me to put my shoes on." I know to put my. He said, "I ain't say nothing to you, brother." What? So anyway, we walk few feet later. Mirage of gunshots, man, just ring out. He get hit, I get hit. He passed. My life is spared. So after recuperating, the major thing that happened in '89 for me was a little cousin. Well, he wasn't a physical cousin of mine, but our families were very, 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 very close. So, I raised him like a little cousin. His name was Yusuf Hawkins. He was killed. He was killed in Bensonhurst, Brooklyn.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
He went to purchase a vehicle. In fact, I saw him because, you know, where the block I lived on, we did our Negro activities, selling drugs and all that. So anytime he would even stop on the block, my immediate response would be like, yo, get out of here. Get off this block. Give him some money. Go to the park. Go to the game room. Go do something. Get out of here. So this night, he comes, he stops for a minute. I'm like, before I could say, yo, get off. He like, I'm leaving. Just came by to say what's up. I'm getting ready to go get a car. You know, he just turned 16.
Yes, sir.
Just got his driver's license.
Yes, sir.
So I'm like, okay, gave him a couple of dollars. Here, go ahead, move out. He gets killed. That sent a shockwave around the world. And at his funeral, that man that spoke in Madison Square Garden,
yes, sir, yes, sir,
power at last forever, came and spoke at his funeral, Josh.
Yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir.
And I never forget that, because those words that he spoke, which were very few, but now you have the mayor of New York there, you have the governor of New York, you have the police commissioner, you have all of these people. And this black man steps to the mic. And he said, I never forget these words. He said, we say like the Jews say, never again.
Allahu Akbar. Yes, sir.
And I was like, whoa. I mean, I even sat up in my seat like, whoa, who is this guy?
Yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir.
And so now I'm not going to tell you that I went to the mosque and accepted. I'm not going to tell you that. You know, Allah's God. I'm not going to tell you that. I will say that moment started my birth, because my thinking began to change. Like after that, I didn't want to be on the block no more. And even my partners, man, they saw the movement away from that. I started speaking more like, yo, what are we doing? Killing ourselves and killing our community. You know, but the thing that was stopping me from just going and falling in is, you know, I didn't feel I was worthy of that at the time.
Yes, sir.
You know, I felt like, man, I done did so much crap and so much garbage. But, you know, like the messenger of Allah said, man, up until you get knowledge of self, Allah forgives you of all of that activity.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That it wasn't that I heard the Honorable Elijah Muhammad's teaching that day, but I saw the Honorable Elijah Muhammad's product.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You know, and you know, that was my injection.
Okay, praise be to Allah. Okay, I got to come back to the Yusuf Hawkins point, but my sister Miriam says, "Assalamu alaikum." Thank you, sister Miriam. Sister Risa Pearl, assalamu alaikum, Islam. Sister Risa Pearl, brother Daniel, brother Jacquez Muhammad says, "Assalamu alaikum."
Wa alaikum salam.
This is big brother. It says big brother Hez. Yes, sir. Okay, so the Yusuf, I'm a historian. Yes, so sir. Yusuf Hawkins, I have there was a newspaper article somebody shared online of my father, brother Sultan, some of the brothers, brother William, who's he's called RoboCop, yes, getting the minister in to the funeral. Yes, I saw a picture, it was like Yusuf Hawkins, but I didn't know that he was your cousin. He was 16. I just knew that it was a big deal that a young black man got killed.
Yeah. But Josh, let me share this with you, man. You know, the way they brought the minister in. And I saw the soldiers, man. I saw, man, oh my God. The day was a day of, we were mourning a death, but it was really a day of life.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Because in the FOI, you know, all of the crying, hurting people at that time was looking at these uncompromising, non-bootlicking, non-buck dancing black men. And, you know, you could see that power.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And at that time, that's what our people needed. we needed to see an example of strength. And that's man, when they brought the minister in, it was an example of strength, man. And you know, when you look at the name Yusuf, you know, it's Joseph, it means chosen.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And so, you know, the little brother's life was sacrificed so that many others could live. Because my life wasn't the only one that was affected from that. Many lives were affected from that, man. And just to see that representation and just to see the love and care, like they weren't there for cameras. There were a lot of people that were there for photo ops and camera ops, you know, but not the mighty FOI and not the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. You don't speak to the power structure of New York City the way he did. And I'm looking at the governor and I'm looking at the mayor and I'm looking at them saying to themselves, I wish I wasn't in here. It was powerful.
Praise be to God. Yes, sir. Okay, beautiful. Now, when you did come in, when you did join the ranks, who trained you? Like who was the officers? Like what? Like put us in the mindset of what it was like to be in New York at that time.
Here we go. Ready? This is the 90s, baby. So in 1990, I moved from Brooklyn to Queens, New York. You know, people with knowledge of self that's on this hood, they call Queens the desert. They call Queens the dry land because you know that's where our more affluent brothers and sisters lived, and you know. But I moved out there, and I got with a coalition because remember now I'm transitioning from the streets, so I come out the street, and I go to this organization called Queens Community. And what this organization is, it's a coalition to where all construction jobs, we would go to all jobs that was anywhere, but mainly in Queens, because federal mandate at that time was 25% of all construction activity have to be hired. You know, your workforce have to be those that live in the community. So we was going to jobs and shutting them down. If you ain't putting our people to work, you ain't working out here. We were flattening the cement trucks. We was putting our people to work. Josh,
yes,
one summer we had over 150 people working on construction jobs.
Praise be to Allah.
Lord's God. So at the coalition, there was two brothers. One was a brother by the name of David 7X. You know brother David. You know his
son, yes sir. Kyrie's father.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
brother
sir.
David was in the coalition with us, and another brother by the name of Hakeem. He wasn't Hakeem then.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
His name was John. He was Muslim, you know, and he was studying under the Imam. You know, he was affiliated with the Imam's community, but he loved the strength and power of the Nation of Islam. So, you know, we became real close, man. We started building, we would build. And then we heard that they was making a Malcolm X movie. That was it. I said, whoa, what? They making a movie about Malcolm X? I'm like, nah, something's up, man. Hakeem was like, yeah, brother, let's go to the mosque. So I said, okay, let's go to Harlem. So we went to Harlem, we went to the mosque. So we get to the mosque, there's this fiery young minister on the rostrum just tearing the city down. You know, he wasn't the man that was at the funeral, but he sounded like him.
Okay.
He represented like him. His name was Conrad Muhammad.
Yes, sir.
Brother Conrad was a fireball.
Yes, sir.
And he said some words at the mosque that day, man. He looked in the audience. He said, you brothers think y'all tough? You running around here, you selling drugs, you doing all of this to kill your community, and you want respect from your women? You want respect? He said, you ain't nothing but a bunch of cowards. Oh,
Yes, sir.
so after all of that, he smoothed it out and said, now, who believes that what they heard today is true and good for black people? So, he said, if you think you believe that and you want to join on, stand. So I jumped up, man. Hop was like, you falling in? I'm like, this is it. I've been waiting for this all my life, man. So I fell in. So now I'm sorry, brother, if I'm going too long with
Oh,
that.
no, sir. Take your time. Let's take your time.
So I start my processing class. 3 major men that I met in that processing class. One man was a brother by the name of Joe X. He was Joseph X then. He's Joseph Muhammad now. He's probably about 300 years old because he wrote a book on how to eat to live, and he's lived that.
Praise be to Allah.
Another brother, he was an assistant minister at the time as well. His name was Nelson X. And then there was a fiery lieutenant, bald head lieutenant, man. His name was Brother Arthur 4X. I mean, he's the assistant minister, number 7 now.
Yes, sir.
But he was a lieutenant dealing with the processing class. Before I actually came in, I would say that, brother Joe gave me the understanding of what I accepted. Minister Nelson was given that spiritual part of the acceptance, but Brother Arthur was straight military.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
He wanted to make nothing but men for Muhammad. Man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You wasn't getting into that. You wasn't getting into that FOI class without coming through that military structure that I needed coming from the street.
Yes, sir.
Because when you in the street, you feel like can't nobody tell you nothing. I dare somebody to try to tell me something.
Yes,
but
sir.
Coming in the processing class, it was all about somebody telling you something, not to hurt you, but to help you.
Yes, sir.
And I thank Allah, man. I thank Allah every day that, he put on my heart to be accepting of that when I was faced with it. So yeah, those 3 brothers, man.
Beautiful. Okay, excellent. Can you please, and thank you all for watching the People's Podcast. Brother Daniel, Ramadan, Kareem, sir, to you as well. My next question is, what was it like for you to first meet the Most Honorable Mr. Farrakhan, and how did you end up protecting him?
Well, my introduction to that part of my experience in the Nation of Islam was because of Captain Dennis Muhammad. See, Captain Dennis is a man maker.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Captain Dennis is, brother, I will always love Captain Dennis.
Praise be to Allah.
Because Captain Dennis loved black people, man. And all he want to do is serve the minister. That's his sole purpose.
Yes, sir.
So I could remember I was still in processing class. Like I told you, me and Brother David and Brother Hakeem was from Queens. So me and Brother David would go to the mosque together. I would be going to processing class. Brother David be going to FOI class. So this one night we was still on Fifth Avenue. We hadn't moved to Mossad yet. We were still at 2033 Fifth Avenue. So this night, the FOI was getting on the bus to go across the water to Newark to 25.
Yes, sir.
And so I get out the car, I'm running to get, and then Captain Dennis stop. Hold on, bro. I ain't talk. Hold on, so. If you know anything about Captain Dennis, man, he gonna look at your shoes first.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay.
Because that's the first thing he do. He want to make sure you need to tighten them shoes up, so.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Around here with Dusty.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So he looked me up and down. He was like, "Who's this strong soldier right here, Brother David?" Brother David said, "Man, Brother Captain, this Brother Hezekiah from Queens, he in processing class." He said, "Not tonight." He said, "Tonight he rolling with the FOI." Brother, go on and get on that bus. You're gonna come with us to Newark, New Jersey. And I'm amped. I'm like, whoa.
Okay.
Right? So, That began my introduction to him, and he was always concerned with my development. Even when I was going through the processing class, I would see him at the mosque meetings. How you doing, brother soldier? You okay? Everything all right? How'd you feel?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Fine, sir. So when I actually got my ex and I came in the mosque, I was prepared in a way that I was able to fall right in and be pulled to hold certain posts. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
And one of the first posts that I did hold was securing the regional captain. He was the regional captain at the time. And you know, when he was in town, you know, he would, you know, the lieutenants would, brother Hez, you on the captain? Yes, sir. Then when he wasn't in town, I would be with Minister Conrad. Then when he would come back in town, I would be back with him, but Minister Conrad would be like, no, sir, he should be with me. So, you know, and from that introduction, that's how, you know, I got to be around your father, you know, who was the supreme captain at the time.
Yes, sir.
Another man who what I loved about Brother Supreme Captain Sharif, man, is he was always concerned about the brothers and always concerned about the sisters and never wanted no one to take advantage of the believers, man. He didn't play that. One thing he didn't play, man. Keeping people on post too long, that was a no. You know, like anytime there was an event, anytime they come through with the minister, man, Supreme Captain will flow through every now and then and just be like, brother, how long you been on post? No, and that always stuck with me, man. So, yeah, you know.
Praise be to Allah.
Answering your question.
No, you absolutely are. Okay. So once you get, once you start doing security for Mossad Min Farrakhan, how do you go from seeing him from maybe an activist standpoint or a good speaker standpoint to someone who was divinely guided?
That's a good question, Josh. But I'm gonna tell you what would happen. There would be times, Josh, it would be pouring down, raining.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You hear me?
Yes, sir.
I'm talking about buckets of rain, man. And I would be saying to myself, like, I don't think this event is gonna go off because the people ain't gonna stand out. But the people would be waiting in the rain to get into the venue. Then I'm saying, man, so you know, we sitting in the vehicle, we waiting for that green light. And soon as you hear got a green light, it's like the sun heard that as well. Josh, are you listening to me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
The sun would begin to shine, man. The clouds would move, the skies will open up. And next thing you know, man, it's sunny outside. I'm not spooky.
Yes, sir.
I'm not spooky, man.
Yes, sir.
But you know, the question is asked to us, what makes rain, hail, snow, and earthquake?
That's right. That's right. That's right.
Come on, man. The black man is God. And this man in our midst is God's servant.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And so the forces, the weather patterns and all that is going to move and operate to facilitate him. And when it's time for him to move, it's time for the rain to stop.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And the rain will stop. And so just by things like that, I'll be like, man, this man is definite. Because remember now, I'm still young.
Yes, sir.
When I first came in, brother, I was what? I just turned probably 23. Before, and all of the lieutenants, most of the lieutenants, we were all young men. We were young, we were married, starting families. So, you know, I'm learning who this man is as I'm getting on-job training. I didn't come in with the supreme understanding of who he was. I know that when I first heard him, I knew he was strong, he was powerful. That was enough for me. His strength and power was enough. I had to grow and mature into understanding the spiritual side of him.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That magnetic you know, that magnetic pull was his no nonsense approach to loving Black people.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That was enough for me at the time. And then as time moved on and study and experiences, I'm like, yeah, this is God's man. You know how in the Matrix, when my man is, the young lady is on the helicopter and he
Yes,
grabs
sir.
the thing and Morpheus is like, do you believe now? They like,
Yes, sir.
yo,
Yes,
who
sir.
is the, you know, at some point in this journey, I began to get like that, like, oh yeah, he's the guy. That's Allah's man right there.
Praise be to Allah.
Let me tell you one thing that always impressed me with the minister too, is his care for humanity. You hear me, Josh?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Humanity, not Black people in general. The minister don't like no one to be mistreated. I remember when he came to New York to do, we started the Millions More Movement tour. And he came to speak in New York. And when they brought him out off the plane, this is before 9/11. I mean, this is after 9/11, but this one incident was, you could go all the way to the gate. You could go right to where they letting them off the plane. You can't do that now. They stop you at a certain point. But
yes, sir.
We had no idea the minister was coming off the plane in a wheelchair because his sciatic nerve was hurting.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So when Tada brings him off, I look, you know, that baffled me for a minute. Like, man.
Yes, sir.
But you know, we moving. Tada looks at me and give me that look, and I jump in front of the wheelchair. So the minister's in the wheelchair, I'm in front of the minister, and there's a Port Authority police officer in front of me. He got his gun on his hip. And as I'm walking, I'm praying to Allah that this man don't cough the wrong way. I don't trip. Now, I'm not, you know, understand.
Yes, sir.
I'm being very sincere because, you know, man. So when I'm on him, I'm constantly in his ear, move up. And you know, I hear the minister sitting behind me, and he's like, you know, it's like he giggling because he like, this brother is being hard on this officer. So when we get him out the airport, we get to the vehicles, man. The minister, he stops. They're getting ready to put him in the truck. He stops and grabs the officer's hand. Thank you so much. You know, and I really feel that what he was saying was, I know the brother was a little hard on me, so thank you. But you know, his care for people's feelings, just humanity, period. That's why I love that man.
Praise be to Allah. Beautiful, man. Beautiful. Okay, I'm going to read the comments very short. My sister Miriam saw praise to Allah. Sister Mina Hawk says the son of man. Sister Teresa says that's right.
Oh, Amina Hawk, Assalamu alaikum. Oh, hold on, brother Josh.
Yes, sir.
Amina Hawk. Now, let me speak about her husband.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Her husband, brother James, 18X, was my lieutenant in Queens. Now, this brother, he very good, humble, strong brother, man. Very unassuming, but he was no joke.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Militant, like, you know, yeah, that's my brother, man. But Sister Amina, give Brother James a greeting for me. Yeah,
praise
that's my brother.
Brother Patrick, Minister Patrick says he bears witness to your
Minister Patrick.
Okay. Yes, sir. My hold on. Before we keep going, I gotta make sure I give a shout out to all of my sponsors of this week's podcast. Thank you all very much. Stay on Point Dance Academy, LLC on Instagram. She teaches babies. If you need your daughters to learn some virtual ballet, she can hook you up with all those dance classes, jazz, and things of that nature. Supreme Men's Clothing, St. Louis, Missouri, 10835 West Florissant Avenue. The zip code 63136, 314-528-5555 is the number. Our brother's going to keep you fresh, dripping with some good clothes. I thank you, brother, for your support constantly. BMW Entertainment in Phoenix, thank you for your support. Designersofcomposure.com, Khalid's Boutique on Instagram, Sister Tia Vinos Muhammad on Facebook. She's from St. Louis, but she has cards for your children called Raising Black Millionaires. And they teach young children about economic improvement and empowerment. My brother Rashad with Street Premiere, he's doing video editing and production. He has a drone camera. He can edit everything. So if you need some stuff edited, please reach out to my brother. Also, my sister Miriam's coloring book, children's book, ABC I Love Me. Thank you very much, Sister Miriam, for your support. My second book, which is a coloring book, Cleopatra, it is on Amazon. Thank you very much. And last but not least, my father's book, A Soldier in the Movement of Christ, AbdulSharifMuhammad.com. Thank you very much, Dad, for your support. My next question is, sir, because you were shot, you came in very strong, you know what I'm saying, very fearless. But once you came in the nation, did you ever have to face fear? And if so, how did you overcome that fear?
Yeah, brother, you know, fear comes in different ways. You know, you always want to be prepared as a soldier. So the one thing, the main fear is, even if you at the mosque and it's a regular mosque meeting, I would always have the fear of having to kill somebody that is going to come and try to do harm to the believers and our guests in the mosque.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That is a fear. That's just not you. You don't wake up in the morning and say, "I'm gonna kill somebody." No, it's not like that. The fear of having to do that is more stronger than the fear of doing it, if you understand what I'm saying.
Allahu Akbar.
Because, you know, this teaching promotes life.
Yes, sir.
You know, and you don't want to take any life unnecessarily. So the fear of having to possibly take someone's life is real.
Yes, sir.
Now, that's one fear. There's another fear when you have somebody else's life in your hand. Whether you with a minister, a captain, whether you escorting an MGT to her vehicle, that's somebody, you know, people think we love to just walk around. No, don't get that confused. The last thing we want to do is harm you.
Yes, sir.
But we will.
Allahu Akbar.
If it's necessary.
Yes, sir.
So, the fear of having to do something like that is real. And then to top all that off is, if you, which I'm sure you understand this, when you rolling with the boss, we all in, man.
Yes, sir.
We all in.
Allah.
We all in, because, and I can remember, man. Well, I don't want to share that. That's something he shared with me. But it's like this. How do you go before the believers and say something happened to anyone on your watch? That's not an easy. You know, some people think, you know, they think it's showtime.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
With somebody. No, man. It's not showtime. It's not, hey, look at me, look where I am. No, man. It's like, I'm ready to give my life. And it doesn't matter who the person is, because we're not protecting the person, we're protecting the word. In the beginning was the word.
Yes,
so
sir.
we're
Yes, sir.
protecting that vessel that's carrying the word to the people at that moment. So we're going to get it in on anybody. You come on, man.
Yes, sir.
We was calling the heads in New York City.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
They called us the hairdressers.
Yes, sir.
Yes, but the ministers, like Minister Conrad and Minister Hafiz, man, they would always, no, sir, brother, don't, but look, man, we rather get the chiding after the fact.
Yes, sir.
Than not be ready to put in work and let something happen to any one of our brothers or sisters. So, that fear of, somebody upsetting this hive of bees, you know. And then it was always the fear of this too. You didn't want to do anything because, the people, if I jump on somebody, they don't say Brother Hezekiah did it. They don't say Brother Joshua did it.
Yes, sir.
Say Farrakhan and them.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Say the minister's name first. So the fear of not representing properly. Like let me give you. Do you have a second? Can I?
Of course, but Hezekiah, of course.
So we doing security. We doing security for Puff Daddy and R. Kelly. They had a music video, right? And Puff Daddy was going to Versace's store. His sister, I think her name is Donna, he was going to pick up some jewelry to have the young ladies wear in the video. $5 million worth of jewelry. I'm like, okay. So he's like, yeah, I want the brothers to hold the jewelry. If we was just non-thinkers, oh yeah, we hold the jewelry. I'm like, okay, we'll hold the jewelry. It's $5 million now. I said, but I'm getting on the phone. We call some other soldiers because it was just 4 of us at the time. So I got on the phone. I called Brother Hakeem. I called Big Brother Fars.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Right? And so we get in the van. So now we thinking way ahead. There's all kind of people around this video set. We don't know if somebody is trying to set something up for something to happen so that they can blame the Nation of Islam. Because at that time, you had a lot of people who was trying to get the nation out of the music industry because we was protecting too many people. Too many people that they've been robbing and not paying. We was going to get them paycheck. They was like, man, we got to get rid of these dudes.
Yes, sir.
Right? So, boom. We moving, we going from the Versace store back to Daddy House studio. So we in the van. They got a PA from the video say he's driving the van. So we turn the corner. I see a truck. Now the truck was parked. But as soon as the van turns the corner, the truck comes out. I didn't say nothing but let's go. The driver don't even know what's happening. Brother Forrest was sitting in the front seat. He jumps out, open the door. I get behind him. Brother Hakeem and Brother Vincent jump out. They get on me. We moving. Like we at one corner. We got to get all the way to the next corner to the studio, but we doing like 50 miles an hour on foot. It was just so smooth that, when we walked past the vehicle that actually stepped out, brother turned his head and looked at it. I knew that they were up to something because when brother turned his head and looked at the vehicle, the driver turned the opposite way, looked the other way, and the passenger looked the other way too. Right? So why am I saying that? The fear of all of y'all names is riding on that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
The Nation of Islam is riding on that. Because if something happens, oh man, the Muslims stole $5 million. The Muslims, they blanket all of us with that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But Fruits, we think 5 times ahead. So you have to really catch us when we sleep.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So it was so nice and smooth and quiet. Like an hour later, Puff Daddy, they come running. Yo, what happened? Something happened? We like, nah, what you mean? Because now we want to see who, was you expecting something to happen?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You understand what I'm saying? But yeah, those. So that's a fear of being ready. Being ready. Practice doesn't make perfect. Supreme Captain said his father told him perfect practice makes perfect.
Praise be to
And
Allah.
so I was given perfect instructions from all the lieutenants, Brother James, 18, Brother Arthur, you know, all these lieutenants, Brother Robert. You know, we had we had some strong lieutenants in number 7. I'm not saying we had like we don't have now. I'm just speaking to that time with me first coming in. So
Yes, sir.
yeah, fear is real, man. Fear is real. And it's
Yes.
something that, you know, I appreciate it because fear makes me stay on my toes. It makes me think. It
Allahu
keeps
Akbar.
me working, you know. So
Yes, sir.
yeah.
Beautiful.
Sorry,
Okay.
man. If I'm long-winded, please
No,
pardon.
sir. No, sir. You know, you right here. We right here with you. Thank you all for continuing to watch the People's Podcast. My next question is, how was it leading up to the Million Man March, and how did that impact you personally?
Whoa. Leading up to the Million Man March. It was two things. Again, I'm always on this number 2, but it was 2 things that happened. First, we were at Jacob Javits Center
Yes, sir.
in New York, and you know at that time, you know, the mayor of New York. Excuse me while I take a drink.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
The mayor of New York that time was a man by the name of Giuliani,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
and he, you know, he had the city shook. So the minister comes into New York with the limo. The limo, I think they said it just had registration on it. It wasn't a plate on it. And Giuliani was talking about we going to take Louis Farrakhan's limousine. Bad mistake, man. You know, so we was like, okay, come on and get it. But anyway, that never happened.
Yes, sir. Yes,
So
sir.
we at Jacobs Javits Center, and the minister says, I want to take 1 million men to Washington. Like, whoa. He said, I'm going to come back. He asked all the men, when I come back, would you come out? All the men in the spot say, yes, sir.
Allahu Akbar.
So minister come back at the Armory in Harlem. Packed, Josh. When I say packed, standing room, wasn't even standing room only. Listen, there was about 12, 13, I think possibly 15,000 couldn't even get in. The lines were so long to even get in. Now, this is a line of people that can't get in. Imagine on the inside already is thousands.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Probably
Yes, sir.
9,000, 10,000 inside already. The city was on fire. The police was on fire because leading up to that, like the minister Farrakhan had his fiery ministers out there blazing up America, man. Brother Kadir, your uncle, you know, my man, you know, time.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Right? You know, Brother Carlos, Brother Conrad, and Brother Kevin in Brooklyn. These young brothers they had America on fire.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And you know, police departments, they wasn't feeling that. They were mad because if the Nation of Islam, the same way I said I fell in love with that black manhood when I saw it at the funeral, we were doing that for countless others, man, all across America.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And so they was like, we gotta stop this. You know, that was part of the reason why they tried to run up in the mosque, which they learned was a big mistake.
Were you there, sir?
You know, it was a big mistake. It was a big mistake. It was a big mistake.
Allahu Akbar. Yes, sir.
I tell you, man, you know, they lucky the MGT ain't get out.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Because you know, the MGT in number 7 in the 90s, like sisters like Amina Hot, these sisters was warriors.
Praise be to Allah.
Man. They were warriors, and they loved the Nation of Islam, and they would be ready to, you know, we have to, excuse me, says, you understand what I'm saying? But so yeah, so to finish answering your question, so all of that is going on leading up to the Million Man March.
Yes,
You
sir.
know, we mobilize. So the minister, Allah's will, even though the minister spoke, it was Allah's will.
Yes, sir.
But what feeds the will? Desire.
Yes, sir.
So the
Yes, sir.
minister's desire to make Allah's word bond fed our will to help him make that word bond.
Yes, sir.
I knew since he called for 1 million, I ain't gonna front. I said we're gonna get 1 million. But I ain't know we was gonna get almost 2.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And that just goes to show no one knows but Allah. Allah is the best knower.
Allahu Akbar.
But I know that all over from all, especially the East Coast, man, from New York to Buffalo to Connecticut to Philly, all and down in there, man. We was going from city to city, and brothers and sisters was working hard. Brothers and sisters, man, the sisters was working hard as well, to make this a reality and to see it, to actually see it come into existence. That day is a day that, when I hear people, say, man, what did the Million Man March do? That's because you don't have vision. That's because you don't know what your enemy was planning for you. You thought he was just making movies when he was making Menace to Society.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All of these movies. You had no idea he was taking these movies and showing them all over the world.
Yes, sir.
So that he could desensitize the world to you when he started killing you wholesale.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You didn't know that the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan peeped that and put a blanket over you and shielded you with the Million Man's March. So when they saw 2 million black men standing shoulder to shoulder and not one argument, Josh.
Yes, sir.
Not one. Do you know that had to be Allah? Do you know, growing up in East New York, Brooklyn, when I did, if you even looked at somebody too long the wrong way, you could possibly get your head blown off?
Yes, sir.
On that day, brothers was stepping on a brother's foot. The man who got his foot stepped on was apologizing. I'm sorry, brother. Oh, man, it was such a beautiful day and time, but I also knew that I knew this. I said, oh, man, the devil ain't going to sit by and let us applaud this too long. We happy about this. And they went to work. But it was one of the greatest experiences that anybody, whether they was there or just saw it on video, will have to say, that's the work of God. And the minister is so, for lack of a better term at the moment, so fly.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And he gave everybody a few minutes, even those who really wasn't with it at the beginning. We ain't gonna play kumbaya.
Yes,
there
sir.
were those who was trying to fight against it. But they knew that the minister had the people. And if they ever wanted to be able to speak to the people again, they better show the people that they with Farrakhan. And man, when Mustafa came out, when Supreme Captain Mustafa came out and introduced his father, our father, to the world.
Yes, sir.
Oh man, just that alone was enough to shake the concrete, because for most, I ain't gonna say for most, but a lot of brothers was running into their sons at the Million Man March that they hadn't seen in years. You understand? And to see a young black man with so much love and admiration for his father.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Get on and introduce his father in the manner that he did. Oh, man. It was beautiful. And then, you know, the dollar, the wave.
Yes, sir.
The wave. I mean, it was just beautiful. It was beautiful. And I'm gonna tell you what was another, because Allah blessed us, number 7, like we were close to the stage. And to see your father, Brother Supreme Captain Sharif.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Controlling the Capitol Police. To see the charge that he had. Man, it was just like, man, we have generals in this nation, man.
Praise be to Allah.
We have men, you know, like the minister say, I have an army you see and an army you don't see. There's countless of men that people may not see or may not know about that are movers and shakers.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
When it comes to facing this devil. Man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You know, and if Islam, this is why, you know, the government is so afraid of Islam, because it removes the fear. Now, it's funny that I say it removes fear, because then I said before that fear is needed. But let me tell you what I mean by it removes fear. I'm talking about that cowardly lying fear.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I'm talking about that cringing up. Nah, it removes that.
Allahu Akbar.
And it gives you a better understanding of the purpose of fear.
Yes, sir.
Fear serves a purpose too. If it didn't, Allah wouldn't give it to us.
That's right. That's right.
Allah doesn't give you anything that you don't need. After difficulty comes ease.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You don't get ease before difficulty.
Yes, sir.
Why? The process of fear helps you to see where you weak at and where you need to be stronger. Fear has a process as well. You don't want to live in it. You don't want to camp out in it. You don't want to put up a tent and just sleep in it. But you must travel through it.
Yes, sir.
You must travel through it. But that cowardly fear, that I just want to get along with, yes, man, nah. Fruit of Islam, we get rid of that. The nation of Islam, period, because our sisters ain't with that crap.
Praise be to Allah. Okay, what has been your, and thank you all for continuing to watch the People's Podcast. What has been your greatest joy in your tenure in the Nation of Islam, sir?
My greatest joy, I would say, living long enough to see young ones that I've seen, like yourself, like Brother Kyrie, like Brother Alton, and to see you all grow to become young men and uncompromising young men. And you know, that's joyful, because there was a time when all I could offer our younger brothers was a way to destruction. You understand what I'm saying? And then Allah, you know, has granted me grace to be able to change my life to see something better in the younger ones coming behind me, you know. Like you young brothers, man, I watch it. You young brothers are on fire. And I want to make sure I say this to you right here. Remember this, Josh. The ultimate aim of this world is to kill the messenger of God. You are the minister of information. You are the archivist. You building up archives of information.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Never take what you are doing lightly.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Because the devil is not taking it lightly. He's sitting, watching. He listens to the questions that you ask.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
He's sifting you as wheat. because he wants to see how he can attack you.
Yes, sir.
So always be on guard for that.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Now, you know, it just hit my spirit to drop that on you.
And I appreciate that, brother. I appreciate that, sir. My next question is, what advice would you give to future fathers?
Good question. Don't try to be your child's friend. You do a child disservice trying to be a friend when they need leadership and guidance. Sometimes, now I'm not saying not to be friendly with your child. See, that's a difference.
Yes, sir.
But trying to be your child's friend is because you want to be liked. Don't be afraid not to be liked, because if you're not liked and if you're doing the right thing as a father and you're not liked, that's proof that you're doing the right thing. Not saying that your child don't like you, but your child know there's no wiggle room. Dad, I can't wiggle nowhere, man. Right? Because
yes,
the father is always going to be on top of that. You know? Be studious and concerned about what's going on in your child's life.
Yes, sir.
You know, that's one thing that the care and concern about our children. And I say that because I remember in number 7 in the 90s, there was a brief moment in the mosque when our younger brothers was going up the street to the Allah school to talk to the 5%ers because they felt like we were paying them no mind. You see what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
When I found that out, that broke my heart, bro. That our babies were feeling like we don't even see them. We don't even recognize them. They going to converse with somebody else, you know? And that I learned from that, you know. Be concerned, show concern. Be mindful, but be a good example.
Yes,
because regardless of what you say, your children are gonna watch what you do.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And you don't want them looking at you like this. Because you saying all of this, but you doing all of that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You know, make your word bond.
Praise be to Allah. What advice would you give to future husbands?
Oh. Hold on. Hold on.
Yes, sir.
The main thing that I would say to future husbands is make a good choice. And when you make a good choice, remember that, you know, you didn't actually choose her. She chose you. The man don't do the choosing.
That's right. That's right.
The woman does the choosing.
Absolutely.
And so when you understand that here's a woman that chose to be with you, be the man that she thought you were when she chose you. No, don't show her this and then do a 360 Michael Jackson spin and be this.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Know? Because one thing about our women, man, Allah blessed us with being nothing more beautiful than the black woman, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
They will stick with us through all kind of silly. For real.
Yes,
but,
sir.
You know, we should work towards trying to eliminate a lot of that, man.
Yes, sir.
Show them peace. Let's give them joy. Let's give them happiness. Not just misery.
Yes, sir.
You know?
Beautiful. Praise be to Allah. Thank you for your transparency, honesty, and great advice, sir. Thank you all for watching. Brother Jacquees Muhammad says, great point, Brother Harris. History matters. Sister Miriam says yes. My sister Naima says facts. Sister Risa Pearl says all praises to Allah. Sister Tracy, assalamu alaikum. My next question for you, sir. What do you do for fun?
What do I do for fun? Me and my wife, children, we play Monopoly.
Okay.
You know, I'm the master. I gotta put that out there. I'm the master.
Yes, sir.
They don't know. They don't know. You know, when they get a piece of property, they don't know the value of holding it for a minute. So as soon as they get it, they get into a jam. They want to sell it. I'm like, all right, I'll buy it. I'll hold on to that property. But yeah, you know, me and my wife, we play backgammon.
Okay.
You know? We go to movies every now and then.
Yes, sir.
It's something that, you know, she would like to see. That's fun for me. But most of the time, man, fun for me is just sitting at her feet, rubbing her feet.
Yes, sir.
Talk. You know, that's fun.
Beautiful.
You know, just spending those moments with her. It's fun for me, man. You know, and she tolerates me, man. I know sometimes I get on her nerves.
Yes, sir.
But that comes along with it. I thank Allah for every day.
Yes, sir. Beautiful. Okay. What has been your favorite celebrity interaction as far as, you know, doing executive protection?
I would say, man, the most, there's two for me, but the main one I would say would be Aaliyah. God bless the dead. You know, she was such a sweet young lady, you know. She had the right name. She had the name of Allah because she had the spirit of Allah.
Yes, sir.
And I'm gonna tell you how. So one day we in Manhattan, she's shooting a video, and there's this, you know, brother. He came up on the video, said, "You like, yo, Leo, Leo, you my wife, you know." Telling him, "Yo, brother, relax, calm down, brother." She's like, hi, you know, she being nice. He's like, yo, Leo, can I just get a hug? Can I get a hug? She like, not right now, I'm working. Oh, come on, bro, let me get it. So, you know, I'm getting a little perturbed. I am. So sis, she sees that. So I'm getting ready to go and tell her brother, like, come on, man, let her do. She said, brother. She said, excuse me, if I give you a hug, would you be quiet? He was like, yeah. So she went and gave him a hug. And he kept his word. He was quiet. But she saw, like, you may be getting ready to get your ankles broken. You know, but her spirit, you know, her spirit was, she was never on that, I'm a celebrity. I'm gonna give you another example. I'm gonna show you how to fruit, always thinking quick. So we do another video with her. We got her in Red Hook, Brooklyn. If anybody on this hookup, they know where Red Hook is. It's desolate Brooklyn. Nothing in the back of this spot but a couple of project buildings. We doing a video, so we ride through and the residents see Aaliyah. They're like, yo, that's Aaliyah. So block after block, we picking up people. We get all the way back to command post where all the vehicles and the tour bus and everything is. It's about 3,000 people behind us.
Damn.
It's 4 brothers on the video set. Myself, a brother named James 18X, brother Vincent X, and brother Sinclair X. His name is Mustafa. Now you interviewed him and his brother Sean.
Yes, sir.
It's the 4 of us. 3,000 people. They all surrounding. They want to see Aaliyah. I'm sorry, one more brother. May Allah be pleased with his spirit. His name is Naquan, brother Naquan. So brother Naquan says, I got it. Watch this. He grabs a bullhorn and he said, anybody that want to meet Aaliyah, follow me. So they followed him. He walked them all the way to the corner. He roped off the block and walked back up. They stayed there. They were nice and cool and calm. So sis comes out. She comes back out to do another shot. She said, "Where's the people?" Like, we have them on stage. She said, "Well, I gotta go to them." Because she heard the brother say, "Whoever wants to meet Aaliyah, follow me." So she came out. We walked her down the block. It took about, I'm not going to say she shook every hand and signed every autograph, but probably about 1,500 of those people, she shook their hands and gave them autographs.
Beautiful.
So she was a very beautiful spirit. And another one for me was the rapper DMX.
Hey, yes sir, yes sir.
Now that brother, man, that's a very good brother.
Yes sir.
Very good brother. But he was a victim of the music industry.
Yes sir.
Because a lot of people just saw him as a cash cow. So, you know, when we were with him, that's when he started. Josh, when I first met DMX, he would be cursing, "Man, F God, I don't care nothing about no." Started talking with the brother because we was doing a movie together called Belly.
Yes sir, yes sir.
And I was on his personal security, so I'm with him every day. We talk. Most of the time, I would let him do all the talking because I realized that he felt like nobody ever listened to him. I would just let him talk, and then every now and then I'm be like, "I hear you out, but maybe you should think about that this way."
Yes sir, yes sir.
But then, you know, when it came time to record his album and everything, now he praying on the album. So his handlers and stuff is like, whoa, come on, man. We need this dude talking about stop, drop.
Yeah.
Down, open up shop. We
Yes sir.
Him praying. We ain't gonna sell no albums with him praying. This ain't a gospel album. But he was a victim also because those in power, he had an attraction. He was a magnet. He had an attraction.
Absolutely.
So if you look at the Belly movie, that was really, I'm not saying that the movie wasn't about him, but he really had that kind of influence like Tommy Brown.
Yes sir, yes sir, yes sir.
And this is why in the movie, you see that, I don't know if you really noticed this, but if you watch the movie, you'll see the people that was with the minister was also in the club in the beginning when they were sticking up the spot.
I know science. I know it's there.
If you check that out, check it out.
Yes sir.
And they were there because, you know, they wanted him. They knew he was an attraction. They want to get the youth. They want him. The enemy wanted him because they wanted him to promote the guns and the drugs and the.
Yes sir, yes sir.
There's a lot that went into that movie. Hype Williams was slick with that movie.
Yes sir, yes sir.
He really wanted the message to be about not doing those things, but he had to sell that to the production company first. So when they was already $15 million in, then he slipped the ending on them. They was like, "Oh,
yes sir.
You got a slip on it."
Yes sir, yes sir.
But if you go and watch Belly and then look at, they had another movie that came out called Belly 2.
I didn't see it.
You're right, because it was garbage. It had nothing to do, like the game was in it. They went back to the drug thing. You know, but the point I was making, DMX, you know, he's a good brother, man. And he just went down a hell of a road he had to travel, you know, but he still got life.
Yes, sir.
And Allah is beneficent and merciful, man. So, you know, I pray for the brother every day in my prayers, you know. Aaliyah and DMX, and I've been around a lot of entertainers, you know. But too. Yes, sir.
Okay, well, brother, thank you all for continuing to watch. What do you want your legacy to be, brother Hezekiah?
Nah, that's not for me. That's not for me to answer.
Mm.
I just have to keep working. You know, one day somebody else will answer that question. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But you know, if I just want to let everybody know, man, and I'm thankful to Allah that He put on my heart to bear witness that there is no God but Allah, who came in the person of Master Farah Muhammad, raised up the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. And then after removing his messenger, he loved us so much that he didn't just leave us alone, man.
Yes, sir.
He gave us an extension of his grace. So for me, just accepting that has made my life worth living.
Praise be to Allah.
You know, and trying to live these teachings for almost 30 years. I know I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the teachings, Josh.
Yes, sir.
I would not be here, man. You know, I'm 50 something.
Praise be to Allah.
When I was young, I couldn't even see that far. When I was in the street, man, I used to, I just want to see 25. Just think about it. Like, think about that. My whole desire was just to see 25 years old. Because as a Negro, living a Negro life, if you lived to 25, that was like, yo, he was an old man. Because we, getting, man, 18, 19, 20, and then, living long enough to realize that, because I saw crack cocaine come in. I was there. I saw the community change overnight. I saw that the brothers that I grew up with and we had mad love for each other. Next thing you know, we shooting at each other and trying to kill each other over selling drugs. And then to learn that we were government agents. We were working for the United States government when we was doing all that. We was working so that Reagan and Bush and them could get that money. We were selling drugs for them so they could get money and sell guns to the Contras.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We were working for the government, killing our community. So yeah, any legacy, still living. Somebody else to answer that.
Yes, sir. Well, yeah. Okay, well, that's usually my last question, but I have one follow-up question. Thank you all again for watching. Are you going to go into the ministry at all? Because, I mean, you've been teaching, right, Hezekiah? You've been teaching, you gave me the spirit. You've been teaching hard.
Oh, praise be to Allah. I never really thought about ministry, Josh. I always, thought about protecting the word.
Yes, sir.
But
I just think there are a lot of young brothers who could use your spirit, your energy, your credibility, and the message you send. When you saying it, it's like, okay, yes, sir.
Praise be to Allah, man. Allah is the best knower, brother.
Yes,
I can't say no. Whoever thought that I would see my first supreme captain as a regional minister. You understand what I'm saying? Like Allah knows best where to send his message.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Just think about it. Like I be looking at that. All of the captains that were around the minister in the 90s, like Captain Hugh and Robo and all these brothers are ministers in cities.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
They was protecting that word, and now they delivering the word. So, Allah is God.
Praise be to Allah. Well, I want to let you know, Brother Hezekiah, on behalf of myself and my family, that we love you. We thank Allah for your sacrifice, and we definitely thank Allah for the sacrifice of your family. And please extend to your wife and your sons, your children, our love, and because we know you ain't do it by yourself. So we know your wife and your children with you. So thank you, sir.
I will. And please return the greetings, man, and thank everyone out there that tuned in. I love all of you. I heard some names that I know very well. I haven't seen you in a while, but Allah's God, I love you. And thank you, Josh. And I want to say to you once again, man, You know, be mindful of what you're doing.
Yes, sir.
Do not take what you're doing lightly.
Yes, sir.
You know, you are an archivist.
Yes, sir.
You are gathering up the history, and the first thing the devil wants to kill is our history.
Yes, sir.
So if he wants to kill the history, he got to get rid of the one who's compatible with history.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You understand what I'm saying? So always be mindful, man.
Thank
I'm
you,
just going
sir.
to say one last thing, if I may.
Of course.
In book 2 of How to Eat to Live, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said that one day he was going to his home in Phoenix, Arizona, and somebody started shooting at him. And his neighbor next door started saying, no, don't shoot him. Get him in his water. So be mindful of who's bringing you drinks, offering you water. Nah, I'm good.
Yes, sir.
Hey, Brother Josh, you want some water? No, sir. I'm good.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I'm good. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Be mindful, man.
Praise be to
And
God.
don't ever think that the devil haven't been watching you DI as a drill.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
No, for real, because
Yes,
he's
sir.
listening to those words. We've gone for the army of Allah. You're like, oh, okay. Let's watch this one.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You know, but I gotta go back to my man. He be time.
Yes, sir.
God.
But thank you very much, Brother Hezekiah, and thank you all for watching. I'm gonna put it on YouTube so we can make sure we share it on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam. Assalamu alaikum, family.